Every action we take, every decision we make, every emotion we feel is governed by an invisible architecture, the human mind. We often believe we are masters of our own thoughts, yet countless psychological forces operate beneath the surface, shaping our reality in ways we rarely acknowledge. Understanding these forces is the key to understanding ourselves, our relationships, and the world around us. Today, we dive deep into the fascinating world of human behavior, uncovering 50 of the most compelling and often surprising psychological facts that dictate why we do what we do. From the biases that skew our judgments to the subtle tricks our memory plays, prepare to see your own mind in a completely new light. We begin with the fundamental way we perceive the world. Fact 1. The spotlight effect. We consistently overestimate how much other people are paying attention to our appearance, behavior, and mistakes. That small blunder you made this morning? Chances are, no one noticed, or they forgot it within minutes. Fact 2. The Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, also known as frequency illusion. Once you learn a new concept, word, or idea, you suddenly start noticing it everywhere. Your brain isn't seeing it more often, it's just prioritizing the information because it's fresh. Fact 3. The power of the color blue. Studies show that people are generally more productive and creative in blue rooms. The color is associated with calmness and stability, making it ideal for focus. Fact 4. Choice overload. While we value freedom, having too many options actually paralyzes us, leading to decision fatigue, anxiety, and often choosing nothing at all. Fact 5. The misinformation effect. Post-event information can corrupt the memory of an event. What we are told after something happens can fundamentally change what we genuinely recall. Fact 6. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Incompetent people often overestimate their own competence, while highly competent people tend to underestimate theirs. Ignorance often breeds confidence, while knowledge breeds humility. Fact 7. We often mistake familiarity for truth. The more frequently we hear a piece of information, even if it is false, the more likely we are to believe it, a phenomenon called the illusory truth effect. Fact 8. The brain cannot truly multitask. When we think we are multitasking, we are actually rapidly context switching, which significantly decreases efficiency and cognitive quality. Fact 9. Our sense of smell is strongly linked to memory. Odors travel directly to the brain's olfactory bulb, which is closely connected to the amygdala and hippocampus, the regions governing emotion and memory. A single scent can trigger a vivid, emotional memory from decades ago. Fact 10. The vast majority of our dreams are negative. Fear, anxiety, sadness, and aggression feature more prominently in dream narratives than positive emotions. Moving on to how we process and retain information. Fact 11. Exercise significantly boosts memory. Physical activity increases heart rate, which pumps more oxygen to the brain, enhancing the growth of new neurons in the hippocampus. Fact 12. The brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text. This is why visual aids are crucial for learning and why we rely so heavily on facial expressions for communication. Fact 13. The Zeigarnik effect. We are much more likely to remember incomplete tasks than completed ones. This psychological tension is why cliffhangers are so effective and why we often struggle to stop thinking about unfinished projects. Fact 14. Our memories are reconstructive, not reproductive. When we recall an event, we are not pulling up a perfect video recording. We are piecing together fragments, often filling in the gaps with plausible but incorrect details. Fact 15. The serial position effect means we are most likely to remember the first items and the last items in a list, but the middle gets blurred. Fact 16. Stress physically shrinks the brain. Prolonged exposure to high levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, can damage neurons, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, which handles complex thinking and memory. Fact 17. We learn better by teaching others. The simple act of preparing to teach a concept forces the brain to organize the information logically and retrieve it more effectively. Fact 18. The placebo effect is real and powerful. If we genuinely believe a treatment will work, our brain can release natural painkillers or trigger healing processes, regardless of the treatment's actual pharmacological properties. Fact 19. Humor improves learning and retention. A quick laugh or moment of levity during a lesson releases dopamine, which aids in memory and focus. Fact 20. We have an average of 70,000 thoughts per day, and a vast majority of those thoughts are repetitive from the previous day. Now, let's explore the complex landscape of social interaction. Fact 21. The bystander effect. The more people who witness an emergency, the less likely any one individual is to intervene. Responsibility is diffused among the crowd. Fact 22. We unconsciously mimic the people we like. This mirroring, known as the chameleon effect, builds rapport and makes social interactions smoother. Fact 23. People are more likely to return a lost wallet if there is a picture of a baby inside. This subtle visual cue triggers empathy and a sense of shared human vulnerability. Fact 24. We are biologically wired for conformity. In ambiguous situations, we look to others for cues on how to behave, often overriding our own judgments to fit in with the group. Fact 25. The Pygmalion effect, or the self-fulfilling prophecy. Higher expectations lead to higher performance. If a teacher believes a student is smart, that student is likely to perform better, even if they were initially average. Fact 26. We judge others' intentions more harshly than our own. When we make a mistake, we attribute it to external circumstances. When others make the same mistake, we attribute it to their character flaws. This is the fundamental attribution error. Fact 27. Group polarization means that when people with similar views discuss an issue, their average opinion tends to become more extreme. Fact 28. The average maximum group size we can maintain stable social relationships with is around 150 people. This is often referred to as Dunbar's number. Fact 29. People who try to keep everyone happy often end up feeling the loneliest. The constant effort of emotional labor and the lack of authentic connection depletes their social energy. Fact 30. A genuine smile, known as the Duchenne smile, involves the muscles around the eyes, not just the mouth. We are highly attuned to spotting the difference between genuine and forced expressions. Next, we examine the mechanics of decision-making and the biases that govern our choices. Fact 31. Anchoring bias. Our decisions are disproportionately influenced by the very first piece of information we receive, even if it is irrelevant. This is why initial price tags are so effective in sales negotiations. Fact 32. Loss aversion. The pain of losing something is psychologically twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something equivalent. We are wired to avoid losses. Fact 33. Confirmation bias. We actively seek out and favor information that confirms our existing beliefs and ignore data that contradicts them. This makes changing entrenched opinions extremely difficult. Fact 34. The peak end rule. We judge an experience almost entirely based on how we felt at its most intense point, the peak, and how it ended, largely ignoring the duration or other moments. Fact 35. Post-purchase rationalization. After buying an expensive item, we unconsciously inflate its value and minimize its flaws to justify the purchase to ourselves. Fact 36. We are more likely to act ethically in a clean room. Studies link physical cleanliness to moral purity, suggesting environmental cues can subtly influence our moral behavior. Fact 37. The framing effect. How information is presented, whether positively or negatively, drastically affects our decisions. For example, a surgery described as having a 90% success rate is viewed much more favorably than one described as having a 10% failure rate. Fact 38. Cognitive fluency makes us trust information more. If a piece of writing is easy to read, uses simple language, and is formatted clearly, we are more likely to deem the content truthful, regardless of its accuracy. Fact 39. Time seems to speed up as we age. This is often attributed to the decreasing number of novel experiences. Childhood is full of firsts, creating rich, dense memories, while adult life often becomes routine, making time seem to pass faster. Fact 40. We tend to undervalue things that are easily accessible. The scarcity principle dictates that things that are rare or difficult to obtain are perceived as having higher value. Finally, we turn our attention to the driving forces of motivation and emotion. Fact 41. The mere anticipation of a reward releases dopamine. It is often the expectation of pleasure, rather than the pleasure itself, that motivates behavior. Fact 42. Money can buy happiness, but only up to a point. Research suggests that emotional well-being increases with income, but the effect generally plateaus once basic needs are met and the individual is financially comfortable. Beyond that point, more money does not necessarily mean greater day-to-day joy. Fact 43. Chronic procrastination is not a sign of laziness. It is often a failure of emotional regulation. People procrastinate to avoid negative feelings associated with a task, such as anxiety or boredom. Fact 44. The desire for closure is a powerful motivator. We crave definitive answers and solutions, and the uncertainty of open-ended situations often causes significant psychological distress. Fact 45. Writing down your problems before sleep can help you fall asleep faster. This transfers the burden of remembering and solving the issues from your working memory onto the paper. Fact 46. People who spend money on experiences rather than material goods report higher levels of happiness. Experiences create lasting memories and foster social connections, which are crucial for well-being. Fact 47. Negative emotions are contagious. Studies show that when interacting with someone exhibiting sadness or anger, we are likely to unconsciously adopt similar emotional states. Fact 48. Self-talk in the third person can significantly improve performance under stress. Referring to yourself by name creates psychological distance, allowing you to approach the situation more rationally, much like giving advice to a friend. Fact 49. We are more likely to achieve goals if we share them publicly. This leverages the psychological pressure of accountability, making us more committed to following through. Fact 50. The concept of flow state. When tasks are challenging yet achievable, and we are deeply immersed in the activity, we enter a state of complete absorption where self-awareness disappears and time seems to warp. This is often cited as the peak experience of human engagement. These 50 facts illustrate a profound truth. The human mind is a complex machine, often running on autopilot, driven by ancient biases and subtle environmental cues. We are far less rational than we like to believe, yet this very irrationality is what makes us so fascinating. By understanding these psychological mechanisms, we gain a crucial advantage. We can recognize when our own biases are leading us astray, interpret the behaviors of those around us with greater clarity, and design better systems for learning, working, and living. Psychology is not just the study of the mind. It is the ultimate instruction manual for being human. The journey into the intricacies of human behavior is endless, and every new discovery offers a fresh perspective on what it means to be conscious. If you found these insights valuable and want to continue exploring the hidden forces that shape our world, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We break down the most complex topics into clear, accessible knowledge every week. Let us know in the comments which of these 50 facts surprised you the most. Thank you for watching.